Hey, you, Nina here. You are officially listening to Empowered Human, the podcast. What? No, just kidding. We're not there yet. But you are listening to Triggered. Can we play with that? Which will be, get ready for it, folks, transitioning into Empowered Human. We have been moving that direction. I know you've heard me slip it in a few times, but it is official. Get ready. That's the direction we're heading. What's going to change? I'll tell you what's going to change. Thank you so much for asking. What we have done on Triggered, can we play with that, is we have explored triggers of humanity, right? We have explored how to transform hard conversations around those triggers into teachable moments. So that's not going to change, right? We're still going to look at that. But what we're trying to do in moving into the empowered human space is really get the community building for people who are very intentionally trying to develop that empowered human self for healing the humanity, right? We talk about the triggers, we give the skills, we talk about, leaning into your edge to transform hard conversations into teachable moments. But empowered human is going to take that to a very intentional, not just exploration of the triggers, but how do you heal? Right? How do you heal your humanity so that you can grow, so that others can grow, so that we can all grow and move forward? That is going to be one of the biggest pieces of news I could drop in your lap today. And if you are moving forward into today's episode, here's what we're going to be exploring. This is, of course, our 4th of July episode. Woo, woo. And what that means is that we are going to be exploring, defining, and redefining American. What is it to be American? Really, folks, what is it to be American? And so that's what we're going to be exploring today. If that is, the thing that you are saying, yes, Nina, yes, I want to explore more, then my invitation is for you to grab a journal or a really good friend to dialogue with about what comes up for you in this particular episode. Because for now, I am so curious. Are you ready to play?
Welcome to Triggered. Can we play with that? You know that moment when your emotions ramp up in an instant, leaving you feeling helpless, frozen, or out of control? In that moment, you've been emotionally hijacked, the very definition of triggered. And I want to ask you, can we play with that? I'm Nina L. Garcia, drama therapist and empowerment coach of Houston Creative Arts Therapy. Join me as we discover ways to empower you and the people who mean the most to you to transform hard conversations into teachable moments. Triggered. Real playful. Real respectful. Real empowered.
Let's take that breath in and exhale it out. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. So welcome again. Thank you for taking that breath with me as we move into our 4th of July spirit episode, in which we are really exploring, the differences in the way that we American. Now, I understand for those of you who are like, I'm not American, and you may still be listening at this point, you could really take any nationality and just fill in the blank there, right? What we're trying to do is explore how to diversify our own nationality, right? And so this does happen to be America's 4th of July and independence. It's not everyone's, I recognize this, but the skill stands. For many of us, the reason why this episode is popping up at all is because we have triggers around the differences in the way people American. And yes, I'm going to put it that way, right? In the way people fill in the blank of your nationality. But I'm going to keep saying American from here on out. Differences in the way that you American. We have these very common phrases of, American is apple pie, right? All American athlete, and so on and so forth. And so when we think about what does it mean to be an American, I really want you to ask yourself, what does it mean to you to be an American? And I want you to take a look at the picture in your head. I really want you to think in there, what is going on in my own imagination when I say this is who I picture as all American, right? Or as American. while you're thinking about that, you may even take some time to write it down, pause the episode. I genuinely want you to have that image in hand, because for the moment that we're exploring today, many of you may have experienced this. I have experienced it on numerous occasions throughout my life. And if you're a BIPOC individual or of another nationality, it's really a very common question here in America. And it's the where are you from, right? Where are you from question. And I've gotten it from everyone. I recognize I just put a little country accent on that one, a Southern accent on that, right? But like, where are you from? Also from like the Northeast and all this jam. And so what the person really wants to know is not necessarily where are you from. Most often when I'm asked, where are you from? I know what it is that they probably are asking me. But when they say, where are you from? My first standard answer is New York. And then they say, oh, okay, well, New York, but like, where is your family from? Also from New York. Yes. Next question. And then I'll get the next question. And the next question is inevitably, well, but no, like your nationality, American. I'm from the US. I was born in New York. Right. And I'm laughing as I share this, right? Some people are very annoyed by this line of questions. But I take it in stride at this point. I know that the next question, because they don't really know how to ask this question, is there no like your history, like, you know, and I'm like, oh, you want to know like my heritage, like my ethnic heritage, where my family is from. We're from Puerto Rico. We're from Puerto Rico, right? And this inevitably sets the person at ease. They're like, oh, thank goodness we finally got there. Yes, we finally got there, right? If only you had originally asked me what my ethnic heritage was, I would have understood what you were saying, right? But this is, of course, the dialogue that is 100% capable of happening anywhere in America, because we're so beautifully diverse, right? And so I say beautifully diverse because I really value diversity. I love the differences that we have as Americans. And I don't love all of the things, just so we're clear, but we digress. This episode is asking you whether you are the individual who's constantly being asked, you know, are you American? Where are you from? With the assumption that you're not American, right? To the individual who may actually be asking those questions. If that's you, here's an invitation to understand how it can be so much more beneficial to really be direct with what you're trying to ask, and then being able to ask yourself prior to asking that question, why is it that I'm asking for this information? Is it going to benefit this person? Is it going to benefit me? Is it going to benefit our relationship? So right there is your first takeaway, folks. Get out that journal or a good friend, like I talked about. And I want you to ask yourself, are you the person who keeps getting asked, where are you from? Or are you the person who asks, where are you from? Once you know which person you are, we can move forward with some clarity, right? So after that, let's say that you know which person you are. Really want to invite you to empower yourself in this case, okay? A lot of us are going to come at this from a powered dynamic. I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment. My invitation ultimately is for you to come at this from an empowered dynamic. So here's what I mean. In a power dynamic, you are telling me that you are okay with removing the agency of another individual, that you're okay with minimizing them, misrepresenting them, or even outright rejecting them. So if you are the individual who is being asked, where are you from? And you know what it is they really want, and you shut them down and you snap at them and you say, don't you know better? Why are you even asking me that, right? It's a super powered way of addressing this. Not only does it put down that other individual, it allows some part of you to victimize, which means, guess what, friend? You're the one who's holding that part. It doesn't feel good. Now, I'm not trying to tell you whether you should or shouldn't do this. I just want us to acknowledge when we invite that role into our bodies, then we're willing to minimize somebody else. And guess what? That means you are holding that victimizer part within you. Ugh, it's not a good feeling, right? If you're the individual who asks, where are you from? And you're doing it from a powered space, then you are the individual who is asking because you're already othering them. You have noticed that they're different from you, and you may not be a fan of that. So you're really trying to pinpoint, how different are you? Oh, that's your difference, right? Now, again, that's if you're coming at it from a powered space in either of those characters. Write down what might be yours and if this might be you, and let there be no judgment. Take a breath in. Hmm. Let there be no judgment, and yet let there be acknowledgement. No matter how you hide it, a spade is a spade is a spade. So let's call a spade a spade. And if you're not happy with that powered engagement, then listen on into what we mean when we talk about empowered engagement. Here we go. Empowered engagement is when you say, I am intending to build a bridge between myself and this individual. I am not willing to minimize, misrepresent, or outright reject. I'm trying to build a bridge of understanding between me and this individual where I have recognized a difference. So if you are that first character constantly being asked, where are you from? We know what it is that they're really trying to get at. So we don't need to be angry about yet another person doing it. Again, I'm not telling you you shouldn't be. What I'm saying is know that it is predictable. If you're the person who says, and every time I get angry, why are you doing that to yourself? Why? We know that these people do not have the skills or the wherewithal, or else they wouldn't ask that question, right? They would ask the more direct question. So let's educate them in this moment. Let us empower them. When you empower in this case, you own your truth without putting yourself down. Oh, my friend, you're not going to oppress yourself, right? You're also going to help that other person own the truth without oppressing them. Okay. You own your truth without oppressing yourself and others. That is the essence of an empowered human individual. So again, if you're that person who's being asked, where are you from? And you say, I want to be empowered in this space, you are going to look at them and you are going to answer the question to the best of your ability, right? They ask you, where are you from? I'm from New York. That is true, right? And maybe that's what they were asking me. I suspect it's probably not, because the next question that they ask is, no, like, where's your family from? Also from New, right? So I'm literally answering this and also educating as I go, because I'm not jumping straight to what it is. You might also say, no, I don't want to do all that emotional labor. I'm just going to go straight to what it is, right? So when they ask me, where are you from? I'm going to directly ask them back so that we can cut to the chase. I want to build this bridge of understanding. Do you mean where I was born? Do you mean where I grew up? Do you mean where I went to school? Or do you mean where my family is from, like my ethnic heritage? What's the best way I can answer your question? Boom. There's no mystery in this anymore. We don't need to have kicked up our history of trauma in this, right? Of people constantly asking, right? We can just get to the what is it, to the core of it, right? That is two right ways to empowered address this particular question. If you are the other character, the person who asks, where are you from? And you're like, Nina, I want to do this in an empowered way. How can I do this? Your intention must be to build a bridge, my friend. It must be to build a bridge of understanding. So when you even think to ask, where are you from? Why are you asking that question? What would be the benefit to you, to that individual, or to your relationship? And that's always how I want you to think about things, to everyone listening right now. Self, other, the world at large. Okay. To you, them, or your relationship. Okay. What's between the two of you? Where are you from? From an empowered space should have the the subtext line, or even the follow-up literal line stated, where are you from? I have never seen such a flag so beautiful, right? Where are you from? Your accent is stunning, right? May I ask, where are you from? Right? Are you comfortable with that? And it is done with humility and curiosity. Now, I can't promise you that the person on the other end is going to receive it that way. And if they don't, we can certainly talk about how you would respond, right? But curiosity, humility, intention to build a bridge. For everyone out there, when we talk about healing humanity, and I mean the humanity within you, the humanity within me, and the humanity within the world at large, this is what it takes. A willingness to lean into your edge, to go into those uncomfortable spaces, to call out the elephant in the room and call in the other individual so that you can have this conversation. Yes, it may be uncomfortable. Yes, there may be triggers around it. And yet, are we going to come at it from a powered space where we're willing to shut down, to misrepresent, to minimize, right, and outright reject? Or is it going to come from an empowered space of, you know what, I want to build a bridge with you. That's my intention, is to build a bridge of understanding. And whichever direction you choose, I just ask and invite you to make it intentional. Let's call a spade a spade. If you say, nope, Nina, powered 100%, then there it is, folks. If you say, no, Nina, empowered 100%, then there it is, folks. Whatever it is, self-awareness, know where you are coming from. Yeah? Yeah. We're nearing the end of the episode, and I'd like to leave you with a lesson, an adventure challenge for the upcoming week. I am very approach oriented. I'm very growth oriented. I'm very much about how can you lean into your edge and really enhance your comfort, even in the discomfort, right? So this episode will be no different. I want you to, again, go back to whether you're the individual who asks, where are you from, or the individual who is asked, where are you from, or maybe you're somewhere in between. I want you to start to notice in the upcoming week between this episode and next week's episode, right? I want you to start to notice when your brain is labeling somebody else as different or other. And the minute you feel that aversion, disgust, othering, right, minimizing, whatever the sensation is, that uncomfortable sensation in your body that says you're going to other them, I want you to repeat this mantra and feel free to write this down. Different does not mean lesser than. Different does not mean lesser than. Different is just different. So that is one of the lessons, one of the mantras that you can do, but I have a second one here for you folks. Here's the next lesson / if you're like, nope, this is the mantra I want to take, then here it is for you. The next time you see someone that is different from you, that does not stand in the way that you stand in, does not American the way that you American. And that's really key, because whether you're the person who asks or the person who doesn't, right? Or the person who's asked even, everybody Americans differently. And so my adventure challenge to you is, when you notice that, to be able to hear yourself say to you, there are as many ways to American as there are Americans. That is what I want to leave you with today, folks, that there are as many ways to American as there are Americans. Let's diversify the narrative, because the reality is America is already diverse. So let's live an intentional experience of diversifying and embracing the diversity that is already there. The story is what you're diversifying, but America is already diverse. So that is my invitation for you all. Thank you so much for being willing to explore your triggers as a human being. And if this episode was helpful, why, yes, you can go ahead and share this episode so that somebody else can just get to be exploring what is the deal with the where are you from questions, right? Like, what is that about? Why is it so offensive? Or why am I so offended by it, right? We explored a little bit today and how you can deal with that and where it's coming from. And I'm asking you, powered or empowered, what do you want to do with it, right? Are you ready for the transition, or you want to stay with what you were given, right? So yes, you can share this episode. There is one other thing. This month is a special month. It's July. We have a giveaway this month. If you have not heard of the Disparity Trap board game, we are going to be giving one of them free to someone who is engaging and sharing commentary on what they are doing in the social media space, right? On Instagram, follow me at Drama Therapist Nina, tag me, let me know, comment on our things that are relevant around diversifying that American narrative this month, all July. Okay. The Disparity Trap board game could be yours, folks. And it is so much fun. Such a fun way to be able to play with really hard conversations. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I've got planned for you, folks. Thank you so much for listening in. Yes, just a reminder, we are changing to empowered human. Get ready for it. And otherwise, stay curious.